welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're focusing on just one source, but wow, it's potent. It's a story called Humans Are the Real Monsters. And the kicker, it's told entirely through an alien commander's log entries. So, okay, our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack the insights from this alien viewpoint. We're going to trace how they went from, confident invaders.
Very confident.
Yeah, totally confident, to being just completely terrified observers of humanity. We'll follow their emotional journey, starting with suspense, then hitting real horror, and landing in this place of, well, awe.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because it just flips the whole alien invasion script. This isn't about our fancy tech or big guns.
Oh.
It's something much more primal, unsettling, really. You're going to hear why the species that thought they were the galaxy's apex predators got it so wrong.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Commander Gervais, 9th Dominion Fleet. The mission? Subdue Earth.
Standard procedure for them, supposedly.
Right. They knew it was a Class 5 death world. Sounds bad. But they figured, mostly hype, they'd tackled worse, apparently. Planets with serious defenses.
And Earth looked easy.
Primitive, yeah. Analog communications, no planetary shield, no orbital defenses visible. The commander actually logged, "This will be over by dusk." Famous last words, maybe.
Well, that's the classic mistake right there, isn't it?
Well,
Judging a species by its visible tech level, what happens when a force that thinks it's superior assumes primitive defense means an easy win?
yeah.
They made a huge miscalculation about what humanity's real strength is. They were looking at hardware, not software maybe, or something deeper.
And this is where it gets really interesting and kind of creepy. The humans didn't fight back like the aliens planned.
Yeah.
No big space battles, no trying to match their tech.
No direct confrontation.
Exactly. The log says they waited, they watched, and then they adapted. That immediate, sideways response. That's where the suspense starts cranking up for the invaders. They realize something was off. So the aliens take New York. 6 hours, pretty much on schedule, looks like a win.
Textbook occupation, phase 1 complete.
But then the counteroffensive starts,
Yes.
and it's not lasers.
Yeah.
It's something else,
Yeah.
something insidious.
And this just hammers home human adaptability, doesn't it? Hour 7. Okay. 1 hour after securing the city, bam, every power grid just goes dark. Not blown up, just off.
Weird.
Then hour 8, the water's poisoned, and get this, their fancy filtration systems fail. Why? Because Earth's own bacteria started eating through their environmental suits.
Whoa.
Yeah, this isn't about fighting force with force, it's about knowing your environment so intimately you can weaponize it, turning home turf into a death trap.
Okay, so that's the suspense building. Now we pivot
Flash.
hard into horror.
This is where it gets really disturbing.
The log describes something that just floors the aliens. Quote, "A human child, no older than 10, walked into our perimeter with a bomb strapped to his chest.
Whoa, man.
He was singing, 'Twinkle, twinkle, little star.' He blew himself up and smiled before the blast." The commander just asks, bewildered, "Who teaches children this?"
And that act, it's not just the violence that shocks them, it's the psychology.
Right.
The total disregard for self-preservation mixed with that nursery rhyme, that innocence, it breaks their understanding of warfare, of life itself.
Yeah.
They simply can't compute that level of commitment, that kind of weaponized childhood. It makes them feel utterly alien, facing something incomprehensible.
So, totally rattled, they pull back to their main ship in orbit, thinking, okay, maybe space is safer. Get away from the ground madness.
Logical retreat, regroup, assess.
But humanity wasn't finished. They hit the orbiting ship with massive EM pulses from the ground. And then, this is nuts, solar flares.
Solar flares,
The
how?
log says, not weapons, they simply use their sun against us. They harness nature as if it were part of their will.
Oh,
Imagine that.
yeah.
Your own star, weaponized by the primitives below.
That's a whole other level of resourcefulness. It's terrifying ingenuity.
It is.
It's not just fighting back. It's using the very cosmos against the invaders. It shows where there are no rules, no limits to what humans will leverage for survival, making the cost of staying just impossibly high.
But the physical attacks, as crazy as they were, weren't the only terror. The aliens started intercepting human communications.
Expecting panic, despair.
Yeah, instead, laughter,
No.
jokes. Humans were actually joking about the invasion. A private asks the commander, why are they laughing?
The commander realizes.
Because they knew us. They'd studied war for 10,000 years. They wrote books about it, made games out of it. The commander concludes, this wasn't war to them, it was play.
That disconnect is profound, isn't it? For the aliens, war is this grim, serious business.
Right.
For humans, depicted here at least, it's something so deeply ingrained, so culturally processed they can find dark humor in it. Like it's a complex game or a brutal sport. That casual relationship with something so horrific, that's deeply unsettling to the invaders.
So desperate to figure humans out, they hack into our archives, looking for tactics, strategies, anything logical.
Hoping for a key, some kind of pattern.
What they find isn't strategy guides. It's horror stories, as the log puts it. Tales about skinning people alive, machines turning on creators, betrayal, unimaginable cruelty.
Oh, wow. Not military intel, but fiction.
Exactly. And Commander Gervais has this chilling realization. They didn't just imagine monsters. They became them.
That's the core of it, maybe. The link between human imagination and human capacity for darkness. It's not just that they can be monstrous, it's that they've explored monstrosity in their minds, in their stories, for millennia.
Yeah, and then there's this exchange. Lieutenant Sarn whispers, "They fear nothing."
But the commander corrects him.
No, the commander says they fear everything, and that makes them unpredictable.
That's a crucial distinction. It's not fearlessness, it's that their profound fear drives them to extremes no one else would even conceive of. Their nightmares become their playbook.
And then there's the final straw, the thing that seems to utterly break them. They capture an alien commander, Artil.
And torture him.
No, that's the horror. No beatings, no drugs, nothing physical. They just put him in a dark room, alone, with a mirror.
Just silence and reflection.
Yeah, and his own thoughts. After 24 Earth hours, just one day, he was begging them to kill him.
Psychological warfare at its most refined and most terrifying. Breaking an enemy just by forcing them to confront themselves.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about human understanding of the mind, of vulnerability. It's not about inflicting pain, it's about unraveling the self. It underlines that theme. The terrifying thing isn't random cruelty, it's the choice, the calculated precision of their methods.
So after all this relentless, unconventional horror, the alien fleet is decimated, down to just 18% strength.
You're barely functional.
They know they have to leave. They withdraw, limping away from Earth. But the humans don't pursue them into space.
No chase.
No, they just watch them go.
Oh.
And then someone on the ground holds up a sign. Simple message. Next time, bring your gods.
Wow. That's not just defiance, that's claiming absolute superiority. It implies no power, divine or otherwise, could have saved the aliens. It's the moment horror shifts fully into awe. They weren't just defeated, they were judged and found wanting by something almost elemental.
The commander's final report back home sums it all up. We came to enslave them. We left with the knowledge that we are not the apex predators of the galaxy. They are.
And the reason why is key. Not strength, not tech. The commander says it's because humans are the only species willing to become monsters to defeat them.
Chilling.
It speaks to survival taken to its absolute extreme. No rules, no mercy, no fear of what they might have to become, just survival.
And the final verdict from the Alien High Council after hearing this report is maybe the most awestruck line in the whole thing. Do not provoke the humans.
It's a galactic warning.
They are not conquerors. They are the final test. And the commander adds that final chilling coda. And most who take that test fail.
So what kind of species earns that reputation? It paints humanity not as another empire, but as this force of nature, a cosmic trial. It cements that shift. Their entire understanding of humanity's place in the universe is just shattered and rebuilt in terror and awe.
So what does this deep dive tell us? Hearing ourselves described like this through an alien lens, it's a pretty stark mirror, isn't it?
It is.
It shows a version of humanity that's terrifyingly effective, not because of our gadgets, but because of our adaptability, our psychological insight, and that willingness to become the monster if necessary.
It definitely forces you to think about the darker aspects of resilience. It poses that uncomfortable question. Faced with utter annihilation, how far would you go? What lines would you cross? What parts of yourself would you embrace or discard just to survive?
Leaves you with that thought, doesn't it? Are we the real monsters out there in the dark? Or is being willing to become one simply the ultimate survival strategy? Something to chew on next time you're looking up at the stars.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.